Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. This is take 2. Let's take these off. Where are you? Yeah, a bit of a problem. I'm showing, as you'll see by the title, a Warlord game epic sprue. I didn't realise that it's quite a sizable sprue for the little tripod that I've been using. It's supposed to be a throw up video. You guys will be throwing up, but definitely not one of Gav's finest hours on video making. So I cut them down so we could get them in front of the camera. This is an intro that's been shot after the main video. So yeah, thanks to this damn camera keeps falling or wanting to fall, so I have to right. What I was going to say, thanks to Scott over at I'm not doing it again. Thanks to Scott over at the Liberator 240 channel, and to Justin, the Miniature Painter channel, or the Miniature Painter channel, but we all know Justin. They've often, well, Justin's often thrown up some, some 12mm plastic Warlord epic scale Napoleonics. He might have done American Civil War as well, I'm not sure. They were the first ones that came out, weren't they? And but it was watching Scott's last video. He was showing his other 28mm stuff as well, but he showed this. He'd got a few sprues of these Warlords off those giveaways they do with, is it War Games? God, I haven't bought War Games Illustrated for about 15 years. I just had to make an embargo on myself. I'm one of those people that was buying more magazines, and you know what it's like. Nobody ever wants them off you. You buy them, you read them, yeah, I'll keep them. You end up with a stack 15 feet high of, when you look at it, a couple of £100 worth of magazines. I prefer to buy books, or put the money into books, or put the money into figures or models. No offence to Warlords Illustrated there. They do a fine service to the wargaming community. Oh dear, Gav, you'll never paint for anybody. Just really, I saw his figures, and Justin's as well, but these were the latest, Scott's latest video, I believe, and I've just really liked them. I've always liked that, the way they have got them all shoulder to shoulder. I just think for a mass effect, for the epic scale, they look really good. So I thought, to hell with it. Throw caution to the wind. It's not, you haven't got enough to do. Go and paint some Hussars, of all things, in 12mm. Anybody expecting nice looking horses that hopefully you'll see them with the Hussars in 28mm? Not a chance. Not a chance. I may well have to brighten these up slightly. I don't have a lot of game colours actually, which game colours tend to have higher pigment in them, which gives you that more brighter effect. I usually mainly use modelling colours, not just because I'm a scale modeller, but obviously most of the figures that I paint are historical, and I do prefer historical figures to be in, if not muted tones, but I like to see my figures in the colour uniforms roughly that they might have been, because I don't get into the argument of what French blue is blue, but I just say I draw a line in my head. But these little guys, when I get down to, as you know, I've got a collection of League of Augsburg Pendragon 10mm, which do need to be, I need to get back onto them at some stage. I've got a couple of boxes of those guys that I've painted and based up. But these guys, when they're at 10mm, 6mm, 10mm, I've not painted any true 15mm for years and years. Obviously I jump up to the 18mm with painting the ABs from time to time, and the ABs I tend not to do. I tend to use the same model colour type paints that I would use on a larger scale figure, but when I go down further I do prefer slightly brighter colours, just to lift them from disappearing into the vegetation. Right, that's it, because I've already done the video and it's going on forever and you won't like it. So it's more or less as normal. So join me down at the bench that I've already been to, and take a look at this sprue in more. What you're going to do is actually make that video bigger. You can probably see him from what I've just shown you. I'm waffling at the front of the video instead of waffling at the back, aren't I? Look after yourselves and check out the video, please. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. Can we get these out any farther? That's better. I've done this video once, and the sprue is quite a long size, and I haven't put my main tripod up. Anyway, I've just snipped them all in thirds. So let's have another attempt, Gav. Don't be put off by the red colour. You're going to prime them anyway, so it won't be too much of a problem. Hard plastic. Slight mixture of poses. I'm just trying to see if this guy, yep, they've got their sabres moulded along the horse's head here. Again, don't forget these are 12 to 13 millimetre. You know, you're not expecting absolute exquisite details, but there's enough details that's all you need. We've got the carbine slung on its sling rather than attached to the front of the saddle. My only thing that I say, and you get this sometimes when I used to buy the front rank packs of mounted figures, you'd often have a walking pose, what I'd call a walking pose, in amongst more charging poses, and it never looks particularly right, but never mind. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, nice and hard plastic, very nice. I know they do that soft bendy resin. I've never painted bendy resin before. In fact, it's been a while since I've painted any smaller figures. As I said on the intro, or I will be saying because I've wiped the video and have to start again. It was looking at Scott from Liberator 240. He'd done some that he got free with his Warlord games, not Warlord games, War Games Illustrated, is it, magazine? And Just in the Miniature Painter did the same. And I thought, I might get a sprue of those one day. And I just thought, oh, stuff it. While I'm thinking about it, get it. Horse artillery, very nice. As has been explained on many other videos, obviously they just go onto the axle of the gun here. Obviously I've just bought a single sprue from an eBay seller. What are these little guys? Take it these. Oh, the trumpets. I was going to say, where's the trumpeter? So whether you just, I don't know what you do. Whether you maybe snip off the sabre, or I don't know. We'll look at that. We've all got sabres. I'll have a look in a minute. We've got one more sprue to go. Well, they're all the same sprue, as I say. I've just snipped them all off for convenience in the camera. But again, they're epic scale, so they are going to go for mass formations, blocks of colour, does that make sense? When I wouldn't be hitting these with the same time. As I say, those Hussar horses are taking anywhere from 3 to 4 hours to paint, with the saddlery and everything on it as well. I'm going to be taking 3 or 4 hours to paint these guys. But very nice. Let's just see. I'm just trying to see for our trumpeters. Is this the trumpeter? No. So I take it you either snip a sword off and stick the trumpet in his hand, or you have it hanging off a cord. Well, I think I'll probably snip. If it'll take it, I'd snip one of the swords off. But my thoughts are, I mean, it'd be interesting to know as well. I've not looked in on costs. I paid £7 with the delivery, including the delivery, for these guys. How does this stack up financially? If you were to build a decent sized army, and I don't know, I'm not even going to go into whatever you think a decent sized army is. How does this stack up financially? do these plastics stack up financially against whether you're doing a Callistra, metal figures? We'll go down to 10mm with Pendragon, up to, I mean, ABs are often a premium price anyways, but you know, 18, 15s. If you're fielding, you know, 3-4 units of cavalry, maybe 10 units of infantry, I don't know, and a couple of batteries, what financially, is it a way to go? And I'm not saying this as a commercial painter's point of view, like trying to target something. It's just interesting. As I say, I've got a collection I've been painting over the years of 10mm Pendragon League of Augsburg, which is fairly. I haven't painted any for a while, but that's a fairly large collection. I've got some 10mm Pendragon American Civil War, smaller amount. I do like massed armies. It's always the tug of war with me. I love to see the little fellas, as I call them, because I think I love seeing those mass effect armies on tables. But the painter in me loves painting the larger scales. So yeah, be interesting to know though, like financially, how that stacks up. I know their resin costs more, obviously, because it's resin, and I understand why Warlord have done resin. You know, there's less upfront costs than it does to produce plastic. Plastics will, like a scale model, plastics will run and get you a lot better return over time, but there's a lot more upfront costs compared to sculpting metal or resin. Come with these natty bases, which I'll be using, there were a lot of people obviously selling Warlord sprues off, because I don't believe the Warlords, did they come with the bases? I don't think they did. I might be wrong, but I just thought, no, I'd like to do them on the pucker basis, because I'll be selling these on. It'll be a fun project, and then they'll go, hopefully. And I thought, let's put them on the basis that people would be using, or majority of people would be using at this scale. Right, there we go. Now, I was thinking, I'm not going to get this in shot, am I? I was thinking of doing the Duke of Cumberland Hussars. Problem is, as I said when I was looking at this is the Perry sheet, obviously. I was fancying doing these before, but again, because I'm buying to sell, or paint to sell on, these didn't have a massively great reputation as far as I remember. But I really do like the colours. So I wasn't going to go and paint blue again. We haven't got the Busbies in this pack, I think the officer may have one, I'm not sure. Same with these guys. These were a mix, you see, so there's no point using those. I could go for, you know, anything like the 18th that I'm painting. Well, they're the 10th. But yeah, I do think of these guys as well. 16th in this with the red. I don't know. I just didn't particularly fancy painting blue again after I've spent months and months painting blue. Right, so yeah, I might do them. I might do them. Only might do them as the Duke of Cumberland's Hussars. At some points, I may even mix them in. I probably will mix them in with the Hussars that I'm painting at the moment, and just paint them on the side. As I do quite often, I'll have little projects like the Normans, like the samurai. I'll flit out of what I'm doing, have a go on something else, and then can return to it. So yeah, thanks Scott, thanks Justin. You've got me painting something else that I hadn't intended to paint, but I saw Scott's last video when he's got some of those beautiful piano war game figures that he's painting, but I saw the little 10 mils, the little 12, 13 mils, the Warlord games, and I just thought, you know, there'll be limitations in what they do with them, you know, pose wise and stuff like that, but I really like the shoulder aspect of it, and I just thought, yeah, I've got to have a go. So as I said, there were a lot of sprues for sale without the bases, and I wasn't fussed. I'd be straight, I wasn't fussed with what I was going to paint. And there was this, and there was some Prussian infantry, and I just thought, it's blue again. I don't want to paint blue, so I thought, hey, let's paint the Hussars and all that lace in 12mm. Why not? Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by, taking a look. I'm waffling again. I always do. I've now got to do a quick face to camera, but it will be mercifully short because this is a big video for one sprue. Look after yourselves. Hope to see you soon with another video. As I say, I've got an HMS Kent, my 1 in 350 scale, modern Type 23 Royal Naval frigate that I'm building, scale modelling wise. I've got a couple of other scale modelling projects. Oh, the Panther diorama in 1 in 72 scale, or 20mm, if you run the war game side of it. That needs to progress. I was supposed, the figures were supposed to be painted, and we're now Thursday, and they haven't been because I've been enjoying painting Hussars too much. But yeah, that's got to get sorted. I'd like that out of my work area in the next week, really. So something's got to happen there. Look after yourselves. I'm rambling again, and we'll see each other on one of those many videos I do fairly soon.